If you're a veteran trying to buy a house in 2026, I cover VA strategies for buyers in San Diego and across California, Nevada, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. So, if that's you, this playlist is built for your 2026 game plan. You're going to hear the same three lines usually over and over again. One, VAs are hard. Two, VA appraisals kill deals. Three, you can't compete with conventional. Here's the truth. Most veterans don't lose deals because of the VA loan. They lose deals because the plan is weak. You have a bad pre approval, bad offer strategy, and a lender who doesn't know VA rules. So, in this video, I'm giving you a simple, clear VA home buyer roadmap from eligibility to keys. So you know exactly what to do first, what to avoid, and how to make your VA offer strong in 2026. And if you're a first time home buyer using VA, stay to the end because I tell you the two mistakes that blow up escrows the most. Well, who am I and why is this playlist? Well, my name is Cathy Sabater. I served in the Navy and now I work as a mortgage broker who focuses on VA home loans, first time home buyers, and most importantly, helping veterans build long term wealth without getting taken advantage of. I built this playlist because too many veterans are pushed into loans that they don't need, charged fees they shouldn't be charged, or told no because someone didn't want to do the work. So if you want straight talk VA strategy for 2026, hit subscribe and let's build your plan step by step. Well, why do we have to have a roadmap overview? Well, here's exactly what you're going to learn. Okay, we're going to cover one, eligibility and COE, certificate of eligibility. Step two, entitlement, including remaining entitlement and buying again. Step three, pre approval, what underwriting really checks. Step four, house hunting and offer strategy, how to compete. Step five, VA appraisal plus Tidewater plus ROV, how deals get saved. Step six, closing costs and funding fee, what you pay versus sellers can pay. Step seven, after closing, you have the IRRRL, renting later, and your wealth plan. Think of this as your start here video. Then watch the next videos in order. Okay? So, step one is eligibility plus certificate of eligibility. Let's start with the first real step, eligibility. Most veterans say, I served, so I'm good. Usually, yes, but don't guess. Confirm it. Your COE, certificate of eligibility, is what proves you're eligible for a VA loan. Whether you've used your benefits before and how your entitlement is positioned. Why this matters in real life? Because I've seen veterans fall in love with a home, then we discover a COE, certificate of eligibility, delay, missing records, or an entitlement issue that should have been handled before they started shopping. So your step one is get COE confirmed early before you're emotionally attached to a house. If you've ever been told VA is complicated, this is why. The VA benefit has rules, but once you know the roadmap, it's actually very predictable. Step two, entitlement. This is the most misunderstood piece. Entitlement is the part almost nobody explains well, and it's why you hear bad advice like you can't use your VA again, or you can only buy one home in your lifetime with VA. That's not how it works. The better question is, how much entitlement do you have? How much entitlement is tied up right now? How much remaining entitlement do you have? Because remaining entitlement is what can impact whether you can buy again later. How much you can buy without a down payment. And sometimes, whether you can hold one house and buy another, depending on your numbers and occupancy. And yes, veterans can even have two VA loans at the same time in specific scenarios. I'm not going deep here because it has its own video in this playlist. But I want you to remember this. If someone says you can't, ask them, did you check my remaining entitlement? Or are you guessing? Well, step three is pre approval. What underwriting really checks in 2026? This is where most deals die. A pre approval is not just a casual letter, it's not a vibe, it's not a yeah, you're probably fine. A strong pre approval means we verify the things underwriting will care about, like income stability, not just what you make, how consistent it is. Bank statements and large deposits. This one trips people up. Current debts, including stuff you forgot, like a deferred loan or a new car. How about credit behavior? Not just the score, but patterns. VA specific guidelines like residual income, your ability to live after bills are paid. Mini example. This is common. A buyer gets pre-approved online in 10 minutes. They go under contract, then underwriter asks, what's this $4,000 deposit? And the buyer says, oh, my friend paid me back. Now we're scrambling to source the funds properly, and the clock is ticking, and the seller is getting nervous. A strong pre approval removes that drama. What you do now, before you shop seriously, is gather your last 30-day pay stubs or income proof, last 2 years of your W 2s or returns if needed, 2 months of bank statements, your ID, and a clear list of debts. And if you're self employed or 1099, that's not bad. It just means we need the right approach early. Here we have step number 4, house hunting and how to win with a VA offer in 2026. Now, this is where veterans get unfairly judged. Some listing agents still think VA equals low appraisal, slow timeline, repairs. So in 2026, your goal is to remove the fear. Here's what makes a VA offer strong. One, a real pre-approval letter, not a generic letter. Okay. 2, a lender will call the listing agent and explain the process. 3, clean terms, tight timelines, clear communication, no sloppy paperwork, smart concession strategies when appropriate. Let me be blunt. Most sellers don't reject VA because of the veteran. They reject VA because they don't trust the people handling it. So if you want to win, you need a team that knows how to present VA correctly. Well, here goes one of your professional tips your agent can use. Veteran buyer is fully pre-approved. Lender is VA experienced and proactive on appraisal, Tidewater support. That line changes the tone. Let's go with a myth. VA buyers can't compete with conventional, so sellers should avoid VA. Fact. Sellers don't reject VA because of the loan. Most reject it because they're afraid of the messy process. Step number 5, the VA appraisal and Tidewater and ROV. Let me give you the quick version. I'm going to go deep in a dedicated video, but here's the quick way of getting it to you right now. If the VA appraisal believes the value may come in under the contract price, they may trigger a process called Tidewater. Tidewater is basically an early warning, and it provides better comps and support before they finalize the value. Then, if the value is still off, there's another process that we can use, and it is called the ROV, which is Reconsideration of Value. And this is why VA kills deals is often just the code for it. No one knew how to respond correctly. Again, full video is coming in this playlist. Step number 6, closing costs and funding fees. No surprises. Let's clear something up. VA can be zeroed down. That does not mean zero cost. You may still have to, pay for title escrow fees, lender fees, and VA limits what can be charged. Prepaids like homeowners insurance and taxes, the funding fee, unless you're exempt. And here's what I want you to understand. A lot of first time buyers drop out because they didn't plan for closing costs early. So you need a real estimate. How much cash do I need to close in my scenario? Not a guess, not a generic range. And so we'll go into step 7 after closing and the wealth plan part. Buying is step 1. Now, after you close, your VA strategy becomes, how do we improve your payment if rates drop? AKA IRRRL. What happens if you PCS? Can you rent the home later and buy again? How do you build equity without being house poor? This is why I say the VA loan isn't just a starter loan. It's a tool you can use strategically across life changes if you plan it right. Now, the two biggest mistakes, two things that blow up escrow over and over. Mistake number 1, shopping before your paperwork is clean. If your bank statements are messy, your job history is complicated, or you're moving money around, handle that before you go under contract. Mistake number 2, weak team, weak communication. VA buyers need a lender and an agent who can explain VA confidently. Fear loses deals. Clarity wins deals. If you want a VA homebuyer plan for 2026 based on your entitlement, your income, and payment target, comment VA plan or use the link in the description. Next video in the playlist is going to be the VA eligibility COE explained. Watch that one next.